There's a certain aspect of New Year resolutions that leaves me feeling a little bit, if you catch my drift. Don't get me wrong, I find joy in leaving past memories behind and embarking on the journey of creating fresh ones. I mean, I'm likely not the only one thrilled about becoming more organized and embracing the fantasy of living a flawless life where everything unfolds according to plan. I'm constantly active, accomplishing all my aspirations, you know? However, let's face it, this rarely becomes a reality. After all, we're only human, and there's a limit to how much we can handle at any given time, and that's perfectly fine.
I feel like this year, one of my main goals is definitely to slow down. Every single year, I write a bunch of goals down, which is not a bad thing, but I do feel like sometimes I go a little overboard and realistically, there's not enough time to fulfill them all. And so by the end of the year, I'm left a little bit disappointed that I haven't achieved everything that I wanted to, although it was already slightly unrealistic. I just set my bar a bit too high. And another thing I really want to do is get this whole hustle culture out of my head. I think we've all been bombarded with it throughout the years, and it's just getting worse and worse. And don't get me wrong, it's definitely important to hustle. You should hustle, you should work hard, but you also need to learn to rest hard. And I don't know if anyone else is like me, but I find that hard to do. I always feel quite guilty if I'm not working hard enough, if I'm not hustling enough, if I'm not growing quick enough, if I'm not achieving all my goals fast enough compared to everyone else, which leads me on to comparison, which is also extremely toxic. And social media has definitely made that pretty easy to do. It just depends what you surround yourself with. I really try to only consume things that genuinely motivate me and inspire me creatively or mentally or however, you know? And I do try to not watch anything else because I don't want to feel worse than I did before I entered the app. Otherwise, what is the point at all in going on the app? And I do want to generally limit my screen time on social media this upcoming year. It's a little hard for me to do because I do work online most of the time. But I really want to try and do that. That's one of my main goals. I think it's also very important to remember that no two journeys or paths are identical. We are all on our own separate path and no two outcomes are the same. So it is silly of us to compare ourselves to others. I know we probably all do it. It's just so natural and easy to do. But that is also a goal of mine this year, is just to focus on myself, my own path, you know, just because someone you see online is here and you haven't quite gotten there yet doesn't mean that you're not progressing and achieving your own goals along the way. It's just your time is different to theirs, and that's completely normal and fine. And so, yeah, this year I would say let's all just be very cautious of comparisons and feeling like we're not doing enough, like we're not good enough, because you are good enough. You're just going at your own pace, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
This year, my top priority is to focus on organization. Balancing a full-time job, sustaining my YouTube channel, advancing in my acting career, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and striving for stability in my relationship with my partner all require individual focus, and that's where organization really does become crucial.
So I finally caved in and decided to start a Notion planner. I've wanted to do this for a very long time, but somehow, I don't know, when it comes to planning and organization, I have to admit I am absolutely not the strongest at it. But I really want 2024 to be the year where I'm finally organized. So I have my Notion planner here and I have made it look so aesthetic and pretty. I use a template from a content creator that I absolutely love, Becca Watson, and it is so pretty. I've customized everything, added my own photos, well, from Pinterest, but just to make it so that when I look at it, I feel very motivated. I see all my to-dos. I see my self-improvement section. I see my financials. I see everything. It's just like, it's perfect. So my goal is to really use my Notion planner and stay organized for as long as I can, hopefully the entire year.
If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that Christian and I have been together for almost 7 years now. We did 5 years of long distance, and the last 2 we've been living together in Berlin. Things are generally good, but relationships are a lot of work, you guys. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean it in a bad way, but when you truly love someone, you need to have a lot of patience, trust, and definitely compromise. Christian started his company around 2 years ago now, and let me tell you, dating someone who is a CEO of a startup is not easy. Their job is their baby.
I honestly cannot begin to tell you guys how proud I am and impressed I am with Christian. I honestly don't know many people that hustle as hard as he does, and honestly, like, I don't know, like what he's achieved so far is mind-blowing to me. and the amount of discipline and dedication that he has towards his work and just towards most things that he does in life is just very inspiring. I mean, in case you're curious, the life of a CEO consists of waking up super, super early, working until super, super late. Like, he's usually home around 10 p.m. most days. He even gets himself to the gym after working like a 12-hour day or more than 12 hours. It's insane. It's insane. I don't know how he does it, but he does. And of course that means that I don't get to see him a lot. And I've just had to kind of adapt to that and accept that. And like I was saying earlier, you know, if you love someone and you care for them, then you just need to find a way to make that work. Make that work for you too. Make that work for you personally as well as an individual. And you have to have a lot of trust and understanding between each other, because otherwise it just doesn't work. Trust me. I do feel it was much harder when we were long distancing, but at that time he didn't have his business. So it was also not as hard. But I don't know, it's a very confusing topic, which I can definitely talk about more if you're interested. And we actually want to potentially start a podcast together on just kind of like how relationships can be, firstly when you're long distancing, and secondly when one of you owns a company. I just think it's a unique experience, but also maybe an interesting one for a lot of people. So yeah, let me know if that's something that would interest you. It is a really stressful time for us currently, and this is definitely a hurdle we need to jump over, pass. I don't know how you'd put it, but it's not the best of times. Things are difficult, work-wise, relationship-wise. I wouldn't say it's bad, it's generally good, but it's difficult. It's a difficult time. And so in 2024, I really want us to find a better way to balance these two things out, the work/relationship. It's, as I said, very hard when you have a startup, because it's a very uncertain time of your life and you're really trying to push forward. I do know that it's kind of temporary, but kind of not. I do feel like this will pass, but I do think more stressful times will also come as the company grows, as future companies are created, whatever happens. I don't know, but I am willing to be in this because I love someone who is passionate and super ambitious and wants to grow and build something of their own. To me, this is super attractive. This is something that inspires me as a person to work harder and grow for myself. So yeah, I fully support. And yes, it can be a little bit more difficult at times because we don't get to spend so much time together. But you know, Saturdays are our days. So that's one thing we've outlined.
Right in the middle of the year, we moved into a new apartment in Berlin, and if you followed our journey, you'll know what a nightmare it was to find one. But I have to say, we absolutely love our little and sadly overpriced place. The last few months we've been working on making it our home, and I haven't shared as much with you as I would have liked to, but I'm hoping to change that in the upcoming year. You guys, I have to document the first snow in Berlin this year. It's literally just started going from horrible rain, and I was really moody and didn't want anything to do with it, and then it started snowing and I was like, okay, now it's fine. It's horrible, but I love it.
I will be ending the video here. I feel like I've said what I've said. I would love to get into some more deep chats with you, but we will do this next year. I would love to create some more raw, real content and just be open and honest with you guys. Not that I haven't been in the past, but you know, just less editing potentially, a little bit more personal. I don't know if you'll like that. Let me know if that's the vibe you like. Let's see where my channel goes. I do want to stick to doing the apartment series just because I very much enjoy those, and I think quite a few of you are interested in them. I have a few people lined up in January already to film, and one of them is 4 guys living together, so that's going to be a really fun video. Apart from that, I'll see what I do. As I said, I want to get a little bit more personal, chatty with you, and see if that's a vibe. Just take you through my life and some of the things that kind of are going on at the moment, because there is quite a lot going on. I also cannot believe that it is currently end of December and it is 10 degrees outside. I mean, I'm not even wearing a jacket. If you're from the States, that's like, I want to say like 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's warm, it's warm. Let me know, as a question for the end of the year, who have been your favorite creators this year? Who have you watched the most? I'm just interested to see like what you guys like watching, and maybe it's something that I would also enjoy. So
yeah, let me know. Let me know the channels you've been very into. You can also let me know what you'd like to see from me. What kind of content is your favorite? It's so hard sometimes as a creator to know exactly what your audience likes watching. Of course, I want to do things that I enjoy doing, but I also want you guys to really enjoy watching it. And it's difficult sometimes for me to know exactly what that is. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'd just like to say a quick, very Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful time with all of your loved ones and whoever you celebrated with. If you don't celebrate it, I hope you just had a nice time off. And I wish you all a happy new year. Enjoy it. Let's bring on 2024, and I will see you guys next year for a fresh video and videos and just fresh content. I'm so excited to get motivated and inspired again and just start fresh. See you next year.